A Lincoln family's strength put to the test as they faced one challenge after another during their pregnancy.
But they drew inspiration from an unlikely place, the words someone drew on a parking garage wall. 10/11 Now, Shelby Fenster has more in Sylvie's story of strength.
Samantha and Cody Parker learned they were pregnant with their third child, Sylvie, last September.
By the time I was 8 weeks, I was probably throwing up about 20 times a day. I was admitted to the hospital several times.
Samantha had one of the most severe cases of Hyperemesis Gravidarum that I've dealt with.
While most women experience some type of morning sickness, Hyperemesis Gravidarum causes nonstop nausea, severe vomiting, dehydration, and weight loss, putting both mom and baby at risk. Samantha was soon going to the hospital nearly every week for appointments, scans, and treatments.
I had to walk slowly, hold on to the wall.
One day, after one of those many appointments, a sign.
As soon as I walked back out into the garage, I started throwing up again. And I got back in my car and I looked up and I saw the sign. And it wasn't too pleased about that. It didn't really feel at that time that it was going to be okay.
It'll be okay, written on the parking garage wall by a stranger.
I would sit here and wonder who wrote that, and at first is how do you know it's going to be okay? How do you know that?
But as Samantha's strength continued to be tested, those words gave her hope.
What kept me going was that it was just me, and we would go to these weekly checkups, and she was okay. And at 26 weeks, we found out that she wasn't, and I lost it. I was barely hanging on.
The Parkers learned their daughter had congenital pulmonary airway malformation, or CPAM, causing a mass to grow in her left lung.
It sticks in our minds pretty tough. It was, yeah, you remember too, huh?
A condition completely unrelated to Samantha's HG.
There's the concern that the mother has, that what am I doing to my baby? And so I think it's very, very physically and emotionally taxing.
And at 36 weeks, Samantha had to be induced, and Sylvie was born premature.
You could feel the relief in the room when she came out screaming. So it had been a long journey leading up to that.
I remember, just being torn between going down to the NICU and Samantha being up on, recovery.
What they thought would be a few hours in the NICU turned into a 12-day stay.
Her heart rate would drop pretty significantly, and she would stop breathing.
Little Sylvie, weighing just 5 pounds 11 ounces, continued to fight.
You've never seen people fight for their lives like a premature baby. They just have this will that is undeniable.
And those words on the wall continued to give Samantha strength.
The words were really helpful to us during our NICU stay. We had gotten through the pregnancy, and my husband and I would switch NICU shifts in the middle of the night, and I would come sit in my car and cry.
Sylvie's come a long way since her stay in the NICU.
I believe we have a picture of her out on our baby board.
And was released from the NICU developmental clinic way ahead of schedule.
We were walking back. I had parked close to this spot, and I looked up at the wall, and I was just reminded of all the emotions that those words have brought to me. And I looked at them and I was like, it's finally okay. She's okay, I'm okay, and we're both more than okay.
So Samantha left a message of her own for other families in need of a sign.
You are way stronger than you think you are, and not always because you want to be, but because you have to be. And that's something that I want to leave with people is that.
Sylvie is a beautiful and happy baby girl. Samantha calls her a ray of sunshine who completes their family. On July 12th, when Sylvie was 11 weeks old, doctors in Denver removed the mass on her lung. She'll go back for a final scan in the next year.
Shelby Fenster reporting. Inspired by messages like these, Bryan Health is now in the process of creating a new program that will take these types of inspirational messages and display them in an artistic way throughout their campus. What a story of resolve for that family.
Wow.